We had a golf cart stole at work, and they told me that at that time that they had caught the kids that did it. And I go, good, because we want to press charges. I was angry at these kids because they were just screwing around, but yet we really used this tool. They called me and said, hey, would you like to come with us tonight? We're going to confront the kids that were caught, the 3 boys that were caught, taking the golf cart. And I go, well, what do you mean, go see them? Like, is it a court date or something? They go, oh no, we're not going to court. I go, what? Yeah, I want to go. I want to tell these kids what I'm thinking. And so I went in and sat down and was part of the group, part of the circle with our security department. And right from the get-go, I was floored. And they apologized right off the bat and told why they did it. And we were able, from doing that, we were able to get some really important information, like our cameras weren't pointed in the right directions, and our gates, when the gates open, it should start filming. And so we were able to actually gather information that was really good for us as a company. So that was one benefit. But the biggest benefit for me was that these kids got the chance to become responsible for their actions. And I was afraid they were just going to get their hands slapped and go on. And it was quite a different thing. As a kid, having to sit there and listen to all these people from your community tell you how you damaged the community and how you damaged the relationship with your parents and everyone else, a pretty powerful thing. And that's why there's such big success in the program. Nobody wants to have to go through that again, face people and say they're sorry. It's easier to do it right and not get in trouble. Having no experience with the circle, what happens first is the people who did the wrong, they stand up and they say, I'm Jim, and this is why I stole the cart, and I apologize. And they tell you in their own, they told us, all 3 kids told us, why they did it, and they were sorry, and it was sincere. I think we were the second group to speak, and out of the 3 people from our group that went, I was the one that did the talking. And I told them how it was. I go, look, you guys, we used that cart to move equipment from the warehouse to the processing facility. Lots of money involved and safety, because we're working with high temperatures, steam, and high water temperatures. So, it was a key to our success. It also was grand theft. That cart was worth over $10,000. They said they were sorry. They said they never even thought about those kinds of things and how it would affect whoever was using that cart. It never even entered their mind. I remember the community member saying that, when I moved to Longmont, the first thing I did was looked at the crime statistics. Well, these types of activities fall into crime statistics. And, it comes back to their personal family, because one of the 3 families was trying to sell their house. So they had people looking at it. Well, those people that are coming to Longmont, they're going to look at the crime statistics. So it all ties back into, your peer group and your community as a whole. At the end of the process, when the agreement's made, what happens is everybody that sits in the circle is able to come up with ideas of what they think can make this better. How do you make the wrong right? And everybody was able to come to an agreement. It was a very fulfilling exercise for me. And these kids had ownership of what they were going to do to make it right. It just so happened that about that time, the Susan B. Komen was happening down in Denver, and the company I worked for had a booth, and we had, a truckload of stuff we were going to give away down there. So I was able to take these 3 young boys with me to do volunteer work there that day. It was a good experience to have them in the car with me and to see that these were really 3 young boys that were no different than me, but how, going through this process was really going to help them in the future when it comes time to do something dumb like that again. Now, had they not lived up to their agreement, the full letter of the law would have went to them. So that's the little bit of pressure that's behind it. And it wasn't a cakewalk. It took it took like 3 months for them to get through all these activities, you know, and it was successful. I followed up on it. It was a successful one, and as far as I know, there hasn't been any more relapses for any of these guys. So I'd be disappointed if it was, because there's something that happens to you when you're able to make something right. You really grow up, and it's a great experience to be involved in. And after that, I volunteered. I think it's a great program. Out of all the other circles I've been involved in, I tried to put myself in the place of the victim and see how they were reacting. And I think they all felt the same way I did, that it's really beneficial to be able to face somebody, not in court, where you have to follow all these procedures and you can only be spoken to, but in this process of a circle where you can actually just tell them how you feel.